Everyone wants a CM Punk return. Like literally everyone. Me, you, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your grandpa, even your grandma. I miss the pipe bomb. It's fair to say we all want that Hugh Jackman and Adam Gontier love child to finally come back to the WWE. It wouldn't be a crime to say that WWE didn't really like CM Punk that much. Maybe they're not religious. But in 2011, CM Punk got so popular it was impossible for WWE to ignore, so he finally became the WWE champion and carried WWE for a while. He became one of the longest reigning WWE champions in history, but unfortunately lost the championship in an underwhelming way against The Rock. Sure, the championship title reign had some problems, for example, not main eventing pay-per-views and not being treated as the major part of the company, but it was great for the most part. After losing the championship, CM Punk had a memorable rivalry against The Undertaker, but after this, it was almost as if WWE didn't really believe in CM Punk anymore, and they just used CM Punk to get other people over. We got him in the Wyatt family rivalry with Daniel Bryan, The Shield, which was okay, and the last rivalry, the last time we saw CM Punk in the WWE, was in a storyline against Kane, a corporate Kane. Like Kane, but worse. To be fair, it was leading to CM Punk versus Triple H at WrestleMania 30, but CM Punk didn't really want that match. I mean, by not wanting that match, I mean this.
I do not need to wrestle you. You need to wrestle me. I do not want to wrestle you. I seriously resent you for not putting me over 3 years ago when you should have.
I wouldn't say he hated the idea, he just wasn't crazy about it. And the last time we saw CM Punk in the WWE was him being taken out by Kane in the Royal Rumble match. What a way to retire. Then the man just didn't show up on Raw. It's a work, people said, he's gonna come back. I just wanna see a pipe bomb. Sure you will. It's a work, it's a part of a storyline. Yes, it's been 3 years, but still, maybe. Come on, please, come back. Of course, he never did, it's been 6 years. CM Punk got fired on his wedding day, by the way, so this basically burned the bridge between CM Punk and the WWE, or Vince McMahon. But let's not act like that bridge cannot be fixed, because it happened in the WWE before. CM Punk decided to pursue a UFC career, and how should I put this? I'm not saying it was unsuccessful. I'm saying it was like putting Brock Lesnar in the ring against Squidwards. Yeah, it was okay. And of course, after 2-0, CM Punk's UFC career was over. After a while, WWE debuted a new show, WWE Backstage. It was produced by Fox, so for the most part it had different people working. Apparently CM Punk was open to that idea, and he actually was the kind of a co-host of the show. Renee Young said, well, it's all about making moments, and CM Punk made his entrance with Cult of Personality for the first time in 6 years to anything WWE related. He wasn't there every week, but when he was talking about the WWE, giving his honest opinions, making jokes, roasting WWE, just as expected. But unfortunately, the show got cancelled, so you're not gonna see that anymore. As of right now, I don't think CM Punk said he's open to a WWE return, but he's talking about the WWE a lot on Twitter. And that's all. He's teasing it, but as a joke. But let's say CM Punk changes his mind. Let's say Vince McMahon starts throwing bags of money to CM Punk. Let's say it's not in Saudi. How CM Punk returning to the WWE would change the company? It's actually my first ever fantasy video, so I hope it's gonna be okay. Don't take it seriously. Let's imagine. So let's talk about ways WWE could bring back CM Punk to the company. The obvious scenario would be a Royal Rumble match. Number 30, CM Punk is back. Another possible way, Survivor Series, WWE vs Retribution, mystery partner, CM Punk. But you know what? In this video, I don't wanna be this obvious. Let's try to make something a bit more difficult, and I'll tell you the way I imagine CM Punk's return to the WWE if it doesn't include the Royal Rumble. Let's say CM Punk goes to SmackDown. He sees what they've done to WWE titles and he leaves again. Just kidding. Let's say the crowd is back. Roman Reigns goes through some of the biggest WWE names and always retains the Universal title. The best Universal Champion of all time, he's shirtless. He is. SmackDown after the Royal Rumble. Chicago. And who won the Royal Rumble match? Super crazy, I don't know. So during SmackDown on Chicago, Roman Reigns says, "I'll run through every single superstar in the back, and I put the damn food on the table. Bread, tomatoes, cucumbers, chicken, pork, garlic bread, and the damn Coca-Cola." Paul Heyman says, "There's no one in the back anymore who deserves to face my client, Roman Reigns." Oh my, is that retribution? No, it's CM Punk! CM Punk is back! In Chicago! And the crowd goes nuts. Paul Heyman looks like he just saw a ghost. Roman is confused. Heyman gets flashbacks of kissing Ryback. Roman is reading his mind. The crowd is going nuts. CM Punk just stands in the ring and appreciates the wild crowd. The music stops, but people are still chanting for CM Punk. For the first time, the chant actually makes sense, so that is already positive. People watching at home are happy as well. Some marks are already fantasy booking on Twitter. CM Punk laughs and says, "Looks like you found some new friends, Paul." But Roman Reigns immediately makes it serious. I think it should be one of these breaking the fourth wall promos segments, because I mean, we have Roman in the ring, CM Punk, and Paul Heyman. I'm sure they could do something crazy. So it should look similar to this Roman Reigns and John Cena segment. Roman Reigns basically says that ever since CM Punk left the WWE, it's been his yard, and he won't let some punk disrespect him. CM Punk breaks the fourth wall by insinuating that he left the WWE because of WWE's backstage politics, and exactly because of people like Roman Reigns. Crowd goes nuts. Mark almost choked on a Mountain Dew. I mean, they have to mention the fact that CM Punk left the WWE. I think CM Punk should explain in a kayfabe way why he came back. He came back for a change, and for two other things. And that is the Universal Championship and a WrestleMania main event, to make it realistic. And since Roman Reigns is the face of the company and has the title, that is the man he chose. Roman says that WWE is different now. You don't just leave for 6 years, come back and get a title opportunity. Step to the back of the line. I know it doesn't make any sense, sure, I know, at all. But it's the WWE, they always say that Roman Reigns is a heel, he can say whatever he wants. Goldberg doesn't exist. CM Punk says that for now, it's just a warning. He will earn that championship opportunity by beating the entire roster if he needs to. And that is not a prediction, Paul. It's a spoiler. Get it? Because CM Punk is a Paul Heyman guy as well. And Roman is a Paul Heyman guy, and Paul Heyman is standing. Prediction spoiler. Awesome. Also during the story, it's being accomplished that Vince McMahon doesn't like CM Punk. And even though CM Punk beats some tough competitors on SmackDown, Vince McMahon is trying to come up with an excuse not to, well, push the guy, I guess. And Roman is just patiently waiting like a badass. CM Punk's wins against some of the biggest WWE names cannot be ignored anymore, so he finally gets the opportunity and gets put in the WWE Elimination Chamber match. The winner gets the Universal Championship match at WrestleMania. Let's say Brock Lesnar is in this match as well. Here's why. If I would be booking this match, I want it to be similar to Kofi Kingston's WrestleMania journey. In a way, during that Elimination Chamber match, we saw Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan in the end, and everyone was very nervous during this match. And that is a great feeling in wrestling. There was hope that Kofi Kingston might win. Every single fan was at the edge of their seat. And this would be similar. Everyone wants CM Punk to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but Brock Lesnar is also a Paul Heyman guy, and you would expect WWE to put that in the main event instead. So it's unpredictable. Oh, but CM Punk cannot go over Brock Lesnar. Let me explain. The finish wouldn't just get CM Punk over Brock Lesnar. It wouldn't be realistic. We get Roman Reigns interfering, and as he's running for a spear, Punk dodges it, so Reigns spears Lesnar instead. We get a kick to the head to Roman Reigns. He quickly goes for GTS. 1, 2, 3. CM Punk is the #1 contender. CM Punk realizes that he got lucky, so he's smiling as he's leaving the ring. And Reigns is looking angry. You probably noticed there's one big issue with this story. And that is the whole main event of WrestleMania thing. Basically, he didn't win the Royal Rumble, but the point of the story is to get CM Punk to the main event. I mean, That is an issue, I'll admit. The ideal scenario would be bringing back CM Punk before the Royal Rumble, but I wanted to try something different, and you guys know the WWE don't really follow the rules, and most of the time it's not even the winner of the Royal Rumble who main events WrestleMania. So let's do that again. During the build we get back and forth promos from both Roman Reigns and CM Punk. I mean, we got Heyman, Punk, Reigns. I'm sure it would be amazing. And like I've said, I think it should be very similar to this story. It's WrestleMania 37. CM Punk is in the main event of WrestleMania facing Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Most people want CM Punk to win, but Roman's style reign is also very enjoyable. People don't know how to feel, but most wouldn't be mad with any outcome. At the end of the day, if Punk loses, he's still got the main event. And let's be fair, this match could end either way. We could get Roman winning, we could get CM Punk winning, but I'll leave this one for your imagination. The whole point of this has been accomplished. Whether Roman Reigns wins or CM Punk wins, it's the main event of WrestleMania, it's the match that people wanna see. Paul Heyman is watching, 2 Paul Heyman guys. I know I'm bad at this, but I'm pretty sure this is not the worst story you ever heard. I mean, WWE would probably benefit from this. I'm pretty sure the ratings would be wild, the show after CM Punk returns. I don't think there would be a single WWE fan who wouldn't care about this rivalry. And I mean, CM Punk brought back fans to the WWE before, so it wouldn't be the first time. Just throw a bunch of money to Punk, Vince. Just throw bags of money. His little WWE backstage cameo got people talking, so imagine if the guy actually returns. I know people will say, well, CM Punk would be kind of a part-timer, he's old, he shouldn't main event WrestleMania. Well, are you sure about that? If it's not him, it's gonna be Goldberg or anyone really. I'm sure he could still go, and it wouldn't necessarily be just an attraction match. I'm sure CM Punk would be like Edge basically, I guess. So let me know in the comments below, how do you feel about this story? Let me know if you want more fantasy booking videos. I don't know if it was good or bad. That's just how I imagine CM Punk's return to the WWE. The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.